Hi, yeah, well, thanks for joining me. You put out a new single last week, so tell me how it feels to have it out there and what the reaction's been like.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really cool to see people back home in Auckland listen to the song and give me feedback. And it's also nice to be able to share it with my new audience and my new friends here in Melbourne. And yeah, it's definitely weird being far away from everyone that you're used to like seeing after a release. But yeah, like my manager and my friends and stuff. But I'm like super happy with how it's doing so far. And like how many new people have started to listen to my music and stuff over like a short period of time, which is really exciting.
Sounds incredible. And you mentioned sharing it with a new audience. Did you find it hard to connect with new people in Melbourne, or how did you find that new audience?
Yeah, at first it was really hard because it really like pushed me outside of my comfort zone and I like had to reach out to a bunch of people and, like put up a brave face. But it was really nice to like share it with my friends at school and stuff because I go to acting school, performing arts school. And so it was nice for them to all like listen to my music and stuff and like to be able to share that with them. And yeah, they're like super supportive and they have all like sent it through to all their friends and stuff here in Melbourne, which is really lovely.
Sounds like a great experience. And looking at the actual song, tell me a bit about like what inspired it, what this release means to you.
Yeah, I wrote this song quite a while ago, and I would say that it's like a bit about like blurred lines and like a bit of miscommunication in regards to being in a relationship with someone and not knowing whether it was more of a serious relationship or if it was just like a fling to them. And I kind of talk about how there's been other people in the picture at the same time and stuff like that. So it was a bit of like a messy situation, you could say. But yeah, it made a cool song, so it was fun.
It sounds like a bit of like a healing process as well, because as you said, it is quite a messy situation, but it sounds like it's been a good way for you to, get your feelings and your hurt out as well.
Yeah, definitely. I also like quite like how the lyrics are quite contrasting to the actual music behind it. Like the lyrics are about like pursuing someone new and all of this like kind of like sad stuff, but then the background music is like very like neo soul and like kind of upbeat. So I kind of like that contrast.
Definitely. And I love the sound of it too, because it reminds you of that sort of old school R&B sound. So who do you draw some inspiration and influence from?
Yeah, so I really like old R&B, like Lauryn Hill's a big inspiration of mine. I saw her live last year, which was absolutely incredible. I also really love Erykah Badu. She's just amazing, and like the song was very heavily influenced by her music and just like the essence of her sound. And for like more modern R&B, I would definitely take inspiration from artists like SZA, Cleo Sol. Um, every now and then I dive into some like Steve Lacy and like Frank Ocean type of music, which is also really cool.
It sounds like a very good mix of different influence and inspiration that's come through and inspired your music as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you moved from New Zealand to Melbourne. Tell me a bit about that and how that shaped your music journey as well.
So I originally wanted to move a few years back straight out of high school, but I couldn't really because I didn't have a direct like vision of what I wanted to do and all that kind of stuff. And I then waited a couple of years to apply for schools and audition for schools here. And I'm currently studying at Patrick School of the Arts. So I'm studying musical theatre there. And then I just moved in January. So that was all a lot, coming from Auckland, which is like a pretty big city. Like I will admit it's a pretty big city. But when it comes to music, specifically R&B and other styles that I'm diving into, it's not as popular and it doesn't have the resources and the like outreach that it does here. And I would also say that applies to things like musical theatre as well and other performing arts, which is very like underfunded and under resourced over in New Zealand.
Yeah, and it sounds like a good time to make the move as well because you've got an EP out there, you've released other singles as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah, having this new audience helps that reach as well and just connect you with more fans too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So for anyone that's coming across your music for the first time, how would you describe yourself and I guess what you hope your music represents?
Oh, I think I would describe my music as a bit of a heartbreak and healing journey, as we previously talked about. I feel like it talks about really heartbreaking and sad things as well, but it also talks about how I've like chose to like dive into self-love and like reaching out to community and friends and that kind of thing. But yeah, in terms of genre, I would say R&B, neo soul are my two like key genres that I'm currently playing with.
It sounds like your music's based on connection, just hoping when people listen to it, they feel that sense of connection to yourself, but also other people who might be going through similar heartbreak that you described earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like with the rest of the year, do you have any plans? Like, do you have live performances people can come and support you at or releasing more music?
I'm currently in the works of doing a gig. I'm hoping to do a bunch of live events over this year. I think it's just about building my audience here and like finding the right community and being able to share it with people around me. But yeah, I think everything I have coming up will just be shared on my social media platforms. So if you want to stay updated, just check me out on there.
Sounds good. And I'd like to hear a bit too about like your musical background and how you got to where you are now of releasing music, performing, studying.
Yeah. So I think that I first started properly singing when I was about, I actually don't even know how old I was. I was probably like a baby, to be honest. But when I wanted to actually like start like making music and stuff was probably around like the end of intermediate school, which is about like 12. I was like, I really want to do music. Like, this is what I want to do. I was in like a band at my school. I was in all the choirs and stuff. And then I decided to just start writing music when I was around like 14. I always tried when I was younger, but writing lyrics was so much harder to me back then than it is now because obviously like the life experience helps a lot. And what am I supposed to write about at 13 or 12 or whatever? Um, but yeah, so around like 14, 15 is when I took it more seriously and started writing quite consistently. And then I've just, ever since then, have just been writing heaps, working with different producers. At first, I started producing myself, which was really, really hard. And I don't know if that's my journey. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't, I think it's like a skill and a craft that only specific people can like really, really perfect. But I love like being able to watch it and seeing like what they do and like learning about the backside of things. Cause like when you're just sitting in the booth, like it's obviously lots of fun to just get up there, sing your lyrics, and then sit back down. But it's so nice to be able to see exactly what the producer's doing and like how they mold it into such an incredible like art. I have such a like what's the word? I'm like so like amused by that side of it. Like it's so cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a great process. And do you want to tell us a bit more about your process as well? So like obviously in this most recent single, you had the situation of like this messy relationship. And then what's your process to then craft that experience into a song?
Yeah, so I really like writing poetry, just like in my notes app. Anytime I'm thinking about something, I probably have like just pulled out my phone and just like written it down because like it always comes back to me when I'm in the studio and like having to come up with lyrics and stuff. So I write quite literally anything down that I think could be good in a song, like anything anyone says, anything anyone does. It's a bit like crazy. And like if anyone went through my phone, they would be like, what is going on? But I kind of just piece everything together and then obviously it has to like work melodically and like in terms of the rhythm and like rhyming and stuff. But I really like piecing different parts of my poetry together as well. And in the past, I've also gotten my friends that write poetry to send me their poetry and me then turn that into lyrics, which is also like a really fun and beautiful process that I really like because it's a nice way to also connect with your friends and stuff.
Yeah, so when your friends send you poetry, like, do you also write it from their perspective, other than just writing from your own lived experience as well?
Yeah, a lot of the time I know about the like context of what they're writing about. So it can help me be like, oh, this is how they must have felt. And then like I would then write it from my perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And as you said, it's a great way to connect with other people as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all my questions. Do you have any other comments you want to add about, your latest release or things you want people to know when listening to your music?
I just really want everyone to feel connected to my lyrics and my music. And I'm super, super excited to show everyone what's to come. I've been working really, really hard on lots of new music, and I've been diving into genres that I haven't released before. So I'm super, super excited to gravitate to a new audience as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear more about, you just mentioned like diving into different genres as well. So what sort of other genres are you trying to explore?
I've been exploring a bit of like more indie, kind of, I guess you could say, alternative music, similar to Boy Genius and artists like Clairo and stuff, which I also listen to a lot. Um, but yeah, it's quite different to what I'm currently releasing, but I love to write that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, sounds exciting. And yeah, we're really excited to hear what else you put out there.
Yeah.